So, so. This is the continuation of Sherlock Holmes, and this is the next story called Bloodbath. The main reason why I'm trying to do these as quick as possible, one after the next, is because today is June the 24th. I only have maybe a week more until July arrives, so I can't be and I have no intentions of playing this past the month of June. Plus, I also have to play Warframe, and plus, I have a life as well. And when I have the opportunity to do something fast and quick, I'll do it fast and quick when I have the opportunity to do so. Um, Thankfully, I'm not like a nurse or a doctor who have to spend a ridiculous amount of time within one place to do something. But at the same time, if I accumulate the amount of hours I spend doing various other things into a day, apart from menial chores, it equals up to 16 hours. I always tell people this when they're talking about how they work 12 hours or 16 hours. Like the things you do on your job is equal to the things I do in many other things, accumulated together to form your job. And then after that, I do menial chores such as laundry, check my email, clean my room, make food, all the normal things that everyone else do. That's why I laugh at people sometimes when they are talking about how they work so hard and they only have time to come home to do, cooking and cleaning and all this. Be like, if I'm doing many things during the process of my day and accumulate them all together, it's equal to the amount of time you spend in your work. And I also have the ability to find time to do something like gaming as well. And do menial chores. Like after this is over, after I'm finished with this, I'm going to check my email and I'm going to do my laundry. Because if I move fast, I don't have to worry about how long it would take to do it. Because I multitask rather than do them one after the other. And that's how I do things. I find it fascinating how certain people believe that they don't understand how things work in this world. Like they believe it's work is the be all and end all of things, and nothing else is in between except doing menial tasks, drop your kids off at school, do laundry and stuff. Like no, everybody does those things during the process of a day or the following day. But the additional stuff in between those things accumulate together is what equal the amount of time you spend on your 10-hour job, 12-hour job. I just find that I have at least maybe one or two things less than what these people do. That's why I'm able to play games for at least 2 hours a day, and on my off day, 4 hours. Because that's my niche. That's my time off. And my speed. I go fast enough, I accumulate enough time so I could do more things within that time. A freaking doctor is not going to rush how he's going to do his laundry and cook and clean and check his email all at the same time because he won't have the energy. But if I have the energy, I could do all of those things pretty quickly. It all is within perspective and how you add them together. Only foolish people believe one type of job is more important than others. So this is Bloodbath, and I'm doing this. I only state what I stated before to make a point with regards to you must have time for yourself and time to organize things in your life for yourself. As long as you know how to do things, any form of idle or idling in your life can be occupied by doing an activity. If you find that you're just watching too much television, turn off the television, do some push-ups. If you find that you're doing too much push-ups and you forgot to pay your bills, then stop your push-ups, pay your bills. If you find that's necessary for you to go for a walk, then go for a walk. But never forget the primaries are the things you need to do. Necessary things for your survival, the standard everyday things, and of course paying the bills. After those things have been covered, everything in between is completely up to you or not. whether someone thinks themselves better or worse than you for what they do. It's all within perspective, because it's the amount of things you added together to equal to what they claim to be better than you. So I don't pay attention to them. When I'm doing a 10 to 12 hour art, 10 to 12 hour art fest, or staying up for 12 hours just to do one portrait for 12 hours, you know, no one could say that because I'm doing that all in one day. Or if I'm spending an entire week just trying to get one art project done, and I accumulate those hours into the same amount of hours a person would do a 60-hour or 80-hour work week, I just spread load it over time. Then no, I've never done an 80-hour work week. I think I've done a 70-hour before. Of course, to my artwork, spend 10 one day, spend 12 one day, spend 10 another day, and then another 12, and then another day I decide to do a full 16. Um, yeah, actually, now I think about it, I don't think I've ever done a 70 or 80. I believe anyone who does a 80 or 70 are completely fucking stupid, because then they're not thinking about their health. And especially if you're a doctor or a nurse, and you're not thinking about your health, then why the hell are you a doctor or nurse to begin with? Your sole objective is to help people health-wise, but helping other people health-wise doesn't mean that you're supposed to neglect your health, which means you're not good at your job if you give a shit about someone else and you can't even take care of yourself. That's pathetic.
Holmes, what happened?
This
I
is
feel
Bloodbath.
deathly.
And you look it. Let me examine you. Please don't tell me that you've returned to your old habits.
Oh, last but not least, I'm at the 7.2. 7.2 regards to this game. No, 7.3. From the last mission I finished, which was Riddle on the Rails, 7.3. So the game isn't over yet. I believe there are 3 to 4 stories in this game. I haven't looked it up to see how many stories, but this is the third story, the third mission in the game. So if I'm already at a 7.3, then this might end off being in the 8s category at bare minimum, if this third story is the last story. If not, and there's a fourth, then it might end up being in the high 8s, low 9s territory. Let me answer this phone. I think my boss is calling me to do some shift. 1 second. Yeah, and there's another factor. Sometimes your boss will just call you out of the blue to do work for you. And I said, sure, I'll do work for Wednesday for the guy that's out. He's not in office, so I'll do work for him. And that's necessary. That's part of life. Like, if I want to make extra money, I'll do extra work. I could sit on my ass and play video games all day, but that's not me. I'd rather spend my time investing in something to make money to help towards my career, for which the money is needed for. This is just to proceed forward with the continuation of the story. The last story ended as 7.3. This story is just starting. So, sorry for that. Whoever watched this video or anything, that was just my boss calling. Just need to get that out the way. And all that little speech I just gave prior before. So this is Bloodbath. Last story was pretty good. It's better than Black Peter anyway. in my opinion. So hopefully Bloodbath, and it sounds very interesting, is a better story than Riddle on the Rails. So progressively, the story of Sherlock Holmes, Crimes and Punishment seems to be getting better and better per each mission. Or maybe I'm just delusional and Riddle and Black Peter was actually good. So, but it seems like they're very good. Each one of them are very good. This is Bloodbath. So enough of my ranting about certain things and people working certain hours.
The pupil is dilated. The temperature appears to be normal. I need to concentrate and count the heartbeats. I need to concentrate and count the heartbeats.
Okay, so how do I count? Measure pulse rate by counting heartbeats. 4. Do I start or stopwatch? Okay.
I need to concentrate.
1.
I need to concentrate and count the heartbeats.
Now I could automatically, that's another thing I would give a game points for. If you don't want to do it manually yourself, figure things out for yourself, you could always press the skip button. So I'm at a 7.4 with regards to the overall game. I'm not going to skip, I just need to understand this. Do I hold it? It says just press X to start.
I need to concentrate and count the heartbeats.
Measure pulse rates by count heartbeats for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I need to concentrate and count the heartbeats.
But the measurement is faster than 10 seconds. What the hell? That doesn't make sense. I need to count 10 seconds, not wait 10 seconds.
A weak pulse, around 50 beats per minute. But you're dying, Holmes. Your pulse rate is dropping. We need to get you to the hospital immediately.
The antidote. Give it to me.
The antidote? You mean that you're poisoned?
Now. Please.
Here, drink it all. Don't tell me that you did this to yourself.
Hemlock and Datura. I was compelled to.
Holmes, imagine if I'd not returned home when I did. What might have happened?
I knew that you would.
Sherlock Holmes
Mr.
is a
Holmes,
madman.
Inspector Lestrade is here to see you.
Mr. Holmes is unable to see anyone at the moment. He is unwell.
A good day, Inspector.
Ah, Mr. Holmes, I'm glad to find you here. I need your help. This is a strange one. We have brought in 2 young bankers from the city, sons of lords, members of the chamber, and so on and so forth. They were found stranded in a rowing boat that was drifting on the Thames.
A romantic escapade with an unhappy ending, Lestrade.
What? Well, yes, they were both in the bath, but, what?
As I said,
And they were tied together.
you are lacking in imagination, Inspector.
Well, no, I'm not. Anyway, there was a banner flapping about in the boat with the RMS Oceanic printed on it and signed by the Merry Men.
The Oceanic. Isn't that the largest steamer ever built?
Yes. And these 2 young banker chaps are sons of the owners of the White Star Line, the company that built it. There are rumours of corruption.
I'm not interested in politics, Lestrade.
I'll keep it then. Here's another one that's a bit more complex and maybe to your liking. It's a murder, but we're unable to find any weapon. We haven't touched anything. It's at the Roman Baths in Strand Lane.
A murder, a vanishing weapon, the Roman Baths. That's for us. Watson, fetch your hat.
Yeah, Sherlock Holmes is definitely a madman. He literally poisoned himself and waited to see what was going to happen. If what he knew Watson was going to show up, but he's dancing. He likes to dance and play with the probability far too much. I think that's his nature anyway. So the last conclusion was the riddle on the rails I picked. The conclusion was the Mexican drowned the Chileans, and that was the result. And I said it in the last video as well, mainly because all the other resulting ends were all pretty much left up to the imagination of he who is playing the game, or she who's playing the game, or they who are playing the game, because there were no conclusions. It says all conclusions were contrary. And if all conclusions were contrary to each other, or contradict each other in some way, shape, or form, then that means none of them were actually truly the end result, which means it was all left to interpretation, or there was something missing at the beginning. So rather than go all the way to the beginning, start the game all over off Riddle on the Rails, I would leave it at that. I know what happened. The game is not playing by my rules. I'm playing by the game's rules. I know that the Chileans probably were drowned, or were killed, and then drowned thereafter, because salt in lake can decompose the body pretty fast rather than them dying inside and suffocating inside a mine. But even if they were killed inside the mine, the result will still be the same. The damn Chileans died, killed by their competitors. Mr. Robinson was involved in the situation, not directly, but indirectly, because he knew these two competing companies would eventually, one or the other, try to steal his property. That's something I knew from the very beginning, not from the first video, but from the second video, after I discovered that the rails were stolen and that rail companies were involved. So everyone was a suspect in that game, which was Riddle on the Rails. But the main person that pulled the trigger was the company called the Carcals, which was a Mexican company, rail company, wanted to own the mines. However, the person that initiated the calamity of situations to happen, I would say that would have to be with regards to Mr. Robinson, because they used I think the Carcals wanted to buy the prototype as well, and they saw that the Chileans were going to also try to attain the property, so they were infuriated and decided to commit murder. So he might not have been directly involved in this conflict of two companies, but he was well aware that one or the other would try to steal it, and thus he would make money on the side. So he was part of the whole little thing, even though he wasn't directly connected to them. I kind of knew that as well. He was either in bed with one of them or the other, or he was sitting on the sidelines popping popcorn while watching the show. Turns out to be he was sitting on sidelines popping popcorn watching the show of the competing companies, and hopefully watching one of them steal it and him retrieving it. Unfortunately for him, it didn't work out the way he wanted to. He lost a lot of money in the process, probably got arrested, and so on and so forth. And I, once again, was mostly right about those who were probably the criminals in that story. I didn't really believe it was the Chileans. I would believe it was a third party. Turns out to be the third party were a bunch of Mexicans. Mexican industrial company. So that's that. So now I'm going to play Bloodbath and follow the path of Bloodbath. What I've learned from this, however, at the very beginning, is one very interesting thing that was said by Mr. Lestrade, who at the beginning of Black Peter's, after he convicted both the men, where's their image? After he convicted Mr. Liam Hurtley and this punk-ass kid, both together. I blame it on Holmes. I mean, not on Holmes, on Watson. I told Watson to shut the fuck up, but I knew it was Lestrade talking. But for some reason, I wanted Watson to take the heat. I don't know why. Mentally, I thought he looked like Watson. That's why I told him to shut up, because I realized that story sucked balls. It was disgusting. But then I came to realize after playing Riddle on the Rails that this is why it's hard for me to even give this game a 9. You're telling me that all the results of all the game endings are all left up to interpretation of what I want to see, but then there's no actual real ending to what is present. It's not like the Sherlock Holmes book. At the end of the Sherlock Holmes book, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle gives you an ending and you have to accept it or not. You can't make up your ending. So Crimes and Punishment is interpretation resulting, where you in the place of Sherlock Holmes, but there's no end result, and that's kind of bad. The game has to have its own definition of how things play out. So I don't know. I still don't know. It all depends on Bloodbath. So let's go with Bloodbath for the moment and play that. I'm at a 7.3. Let's go and continue. So far I've been on point with many of the discoveries. And the main reason why I said before I'm trying to get this out the way before July comes, because I only have a week left. I don't have time to play this when I start to get really busy doing certain things.
Beautiful place.
With a dreadful murder. The body of Sir Rodney Bentcliffe is still in the steam room. It has not been touched, per your usual instructions, Mr. Holmes. I shall be waiting for you here, but please hurry.
Are you able to identify the men who were with the victim in the steam room?
Yes. The manager of the bath, Sir Gregory Pitkin, a lad from the City Council, Garrow, and an archaeologist by the name of Blinkhorn. I think the plump one, Garrow, did it. He doesn't seem right in the head.
Well, we shall see. You found no murder weapon?
No, and that's why I called you. All 3 witnesses and the victim were locked in when the murder occurred, and they remained so until we got here. We even had to pick the lock to enter.
I see. Was there anyone else here, apart from those gentlemen in the steam room?
Yes, a Mr. Phillips. He was the one who called the police. He will be able to give you more details.
The steam room's on the other side, Mr. Holmes.
Good day to you, Mr. Phillips. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is my colleague, Dr. Watson. Would you be so kind as to answer our questions?
Certainly, sir.
Please tell us the chain of events from the start of your day. Everything that you can remember. The slightest detail may be of importance.
Very well, sir. I came in at 6:30 this morning, and I opened the baths. I made sure that the room was clean, and I prepared the towels. The brazier was still burning.
There was a fire burning all night.
Yes, Sir Gregory ordered me to light the brazier yesterday. It takes some time until the room is fully heated. The gentlemen had a meeting at 9 o'clock this morning. I wanted everything to be perfect. They'd been in the steam room for 20 minutes when I suddenly heard shouting. I ran to the door, but it was closed. I couldn't open it. So I ran out to the street to call for the police. One constable came up, and then there were others, and they picked the lock. Then Inspector Lestrade came along, and he told us that nothing should be touched.
Did you receive any other visitors this morning?
No one. Until these gentlemen arrived. Sir Gregory was the first. And then, while we were discussing work details, Sir Rodney and Mr. Blinkhorn arrived, and Mr. Garrow followed.
What happened after that?
I waited until they'd all entered the steam room, then I returned to the hall. The changing room door was open, so I should hear if they needed anything.
You would have heard if someone had entered or left the steam room.
Certainly, sir. These doors make a lot of noise.
So this is a case of someone not understanding how nature works or how sound and sound effect works. I think Sherlock Holmes kind of suspects this as well, but I'm going to follow up. If the doors are that heavy, obviously you'll be able to hear it regardless. But if there's noise from the outside, it all depends on this building itself, the enclosure of this building. If there's noise from the outside, such as like I'm hearing horse hooves hitting the ground, or if there's steam, and if the steam is loud, or if there's any type of pressure sound, or any type of sound that gives off a loud noise at a specific time period, that's kind of like an interruption to one's ears. Same as being in a field and you're hearing the rustling grass by heavy winds. You could travel during that time period and no one will hear your footsteps. But the moment the grass stops and the wind stops, they'll start to hear your footsteps, simply because the power of the wind and the grass has dissipated and your feet now takes command over sound and it echoes. So I think Holmes is kind of, he'll check the health of this guy first. At least this is what I'm thinking. He'll check the health of him first to see if his ears, his eyes, and his behavior was healthy enough to cognitively and neurologically understand things based on sight and sound. Some things are just simple to understand, simply based on what a person says. Like wrinkles means he's been working for long hours. His eyes are kind of black underneath there. So, tired. Tired doesn't mean a person can't hear. It just means their recollection won't be on point. Fatigue? What, fastidious? What the hell? What? Oh, this is a first. It's asking me to choose between one or the other. What the hell is start coil? Or maybe it's both. Fastidious start coil. I've never seen that before. It's switching back and forth. The hell is that all about? That's weird. Well, that's different. It's like I was saying, the game is improving as the stories get along with regards to new things added. So the whole heartbeat things with regards to Watson checking Holmes' pulse, and now this 7.4. I'm at a 7 point, no, 7.5. I'm at 7.5. Very interesting. There it is again. Lives alone. 3 of them. Groom himself. Oh, okay. Yeah, he gathered 3 things from just one thing. I was wondering what the hell was going on. So he lives alone based on his grooming. Based on his grooming, Holmes deduced that he lives alone, and based on how he cuts himself. Same here. Holmes deduced that based on his fastidious nature, he's stark cool. Yeah, so this seems to be a very laborious guy. Works here a lot because he has nothing or no one to go to. At least that's what he's claiming. So let's continue. Long hour workers can't be accurate. Manchester City. I don't see what relevance that has to play in anything unless takes a long time to travel from Manchester to here. Shiny buttons. If his buttons are shiny, he takes time to take care of himself and his uniform. Wait, let's look at that again.
These baths are becoming sinister.
Philip is from Manchester. He takes care of both himself and the establishment where he works, and is seen as a good employee. He went out this morning, sent a telegram probably to his hometown. Yeah, but Holmes needs to add in the guy. Looks like he's been working for a long time, even though he's very fastidious in his duties, and he cares about it. Those dead eyes say he works here a lot. Oh well, let's continue.
Any progress, Mr. Holmes?
What should we do next, Holmes?
Find the missing weapon.
The steam room's on the other side, Mr. Holmes. The steam room's on the other side, Mr. Holmes.
Very well. So I'm gonna get off at around, let's see, what time is it? Yeah, I'm gonna do this one for about an hour and 30 minutes. Then I'll take care of other business I have to take care of. What's this say? Okay. Okay. Romanesque steam room. This is where they put their clothing, and then they go through the door, take their steam bath. So should I check clothes first before I go to the steam room? I like that this one is called Bloodbath because they took a bath and someone got killed. Probably in the bath. Otherwise, it wouldn't be called Bloodbath. Or, I guess it could be still called Bloodbath if they got killed at a bathhouse. But it make it more interesting if they actually got killed in the bath.
Expensive clothes, belonging to one of the men from the steam room. an ice bucket to keep the champagne chilled. Champagne for a special occasion. Champagne. Unopened, it was intended to be enjoyed after the steam session.
So I never got to enjoy it. And champagne. Maybe not cheap champagne either.
These clothes belong to one of the suspects from the steam room. Expensive clothes belonging to one of the men from the steam room.
So that was expensive clothes from an expensive guy. This could be his champagne, if that is the expensive clothes, or champagne brought by someone to share it with him. And this is from one of the suspects. And this is from...
Clothes belonging to one of the suspects.
So 2 suspects. There were 3 suspects in all. I believe it stated so. Anything else here? No.
Good Lord, Holmes.
Ah, death with a peculiarly Roman piquancy.
Like the one you almost had an hour ago.
Let us forget about that.
I like that the 3 suspects can't leave. That proves that Lestrade really is slow in the head some way. Like, if this guy was killed by someone, you think they would be sticking around. The moment they killed the guy, they would have been out the door. And of course our friend, who claims he could hear anyone exiting and leaving, is highly suspicious. Unless highly suspicious means not involved in the killing, but involved in probably nodding off at the head for working so long. But he is fastidious, so it's highly unlikely that he would fall asleep. Either way, I think he might have dozed off once or twice. At least his eyes tell me this. See what this cop says.
Mr. Holmes?
He says Holmes. Alright, so before I even look at the body, I want to hear what they have to say. Then again, if I look at the body and check out the body, I might get details. And they might tell me what I want to hear. Assuming that I would look for that on the body, rather than check the body first and hear if anything that they're saying is relevant. Or that could be the case. They expect someone to check the body so that they can answer based on the person checking the body. Yes, if a person is caught in a lie of what they saw and what they hear, investigating the thing to see if it's true or not proves to be lie or truth, would present itself after hearing what they're saying. wonder, does that really work? Let's say if I'm the bad guy here and I investigate the body before I killed the person and stayed in the steam room, I would have to make up a good story with regards to the person that I killed. In other words, everything that's present on the dead man's body must match my story to a T, so that when I go check it, it would match up to what that person is saying. So if I check it prior and I go talk to them and it matches what they're saying, it's best not to check it prior. It's best to listen to what they're saying first and then go check the body thereafter to see if there's any contradictions with regards to their story or if their story is accurate. Either way, it would still be the case. However, it would foolishly think by just telling me a lie, I would go to investigate and see that it is the case. So no matter how you look at it, it would, if they went over the body, it won't matter if you check it first or ask them and they tell you thereafter. It will still be the same, except for the contradictions that I would estimate after hearing what they're saying. So I'll speak to them first to whatever lie they make up. If it contradicts anything on the dead man's body, it would show. But if it matches everything on the dead man's body, it would be too coincidental. Yes, let's
It's
try that.
horrible. I can't talk at the moment.
I'm in shock. I don't want to talk.
Well, isn't that just peachy
It's
keen?
horrible. So Rodney, he's dead. Can't we speak about it somewhere else?
It's... ain't that funny? Ain't that funny? The actual thing that I was trying to do, the game say no, you're going to do it our way, and then you're going to talk to them thereafter. So I guess whoever created this story probably had the same thing in mind. You would discover who is lying quite easy if you were to ask them first and check the body thereafter.
The wound should not have bled so profusely. This pool is rather large. Some dirt or earth. I'll take a sample.
So he has dirt under his fingers.
Some dirt or earth. I'll take a sample.
So he was digging. He was digging at something. He was digging at something before he got here to the bathhouse. Or he was digging at something here in the bathhouse. Let's say he found something somewhere that he dug up with his hands. And it used to be a wedding ring.
Look, Watson. He was wearing a ring. He very likely removed it before the steam session.
Now, why would you remove your ring? A steam session. Because, I don't know, it's a steam room. It would get in the way, I guess. But he is married. No. I wouldn't say it's married. That's the wrong. Could be a different type of ring. Yeah. Not married. A different type of ring.
The death is very recent, between 30 minutes to 1 hour ago.
One hour ago. Death was an hour ago. And it was recent.
There was only one hit from the weapon. It pierced the right eye straight through to the brain. Death would have been instantaneous.
I think we have found all that we can here, taking into consideration the abysmal lighting. Constable, we have finished with the body.
We don't have many leads here.
What concerns me is that we still have to find the murder weapon.
Mr. Holmes?
Please have the body removed without disturbing anything else in the room.
All right, Mr. Holmes.
I was wondering, Holmes, it's fairly reckless to carry out a murder inside a closed chamber. Why do you suppose they did it?
There are a great many possibilities. The murderer was in a hurry. Or he is an artist. Or a ghost. Or he wanted to ensure that I'd be brought in on the case.
Probably the latter. You are ridiculous. Do you know that?
Seems like he was in a hurry, all right.
I should check this blood sample at Baker Street.
It could be mixed blood. His blood and someone else's blood. Anything else? Ah, it's a key.
This key was covered in blood. I should ask Phillips about it.
There's something about my boy Phillips that, well, he's not my boy, but something strange about him. He's very accurate with regards to his knowledge of doing his duties. The only people who are that accurate are those people who are very sure of themselves or institutionalized by following a specific code. I would very much like to know his history.
The brazier is still burning. The heat here is extreme. It is too hot. I cannot reach into it.
Yes, and wouldn't someone who wants to hide something would throw it inside of the brazier? Too hot. They knew it would take a while for it to cool down before someone could retrieve any type of evidence. By then, the heat will melt whatever is thrown in there. At least that's what Holmes is thinking. That's what I'm thinking as well. Actually, that was the first thing I thought even before I came into this place. Like, it's a steam bath. Someone will throw it into the fire that's creating the steam.
Hot. I will need something to pick up this melted metal. The brazier is still...
I can't understand what happened.
I found him. I touched his shoulder, thinking that he was just asleep.
If you have to interrogate me, I'd like to be dressed properly first.
Well, there's nothing I could find that could lift that stone. I will talk to Mr. Philippe, or Phillips, however you want to call him. I am a bit tired, so after this, I think I'll relax for about maybe 20 or 30 minutes, and then I'll get back to my regular scheduled program work I was supposed to be doing anyway.
How many people have keys to the steam room?
We have just the one key for now, which Sir Gregory gave to me.
So, this morning you opened the steam room, and then?
I put the key inside my desk, but when they called, I couldn't find it. It had disappeared. I don't know where it is.
Did you leave the baths at any time, or receive any visitors?
No, sir. I did not.
And there it is. If he didn't fall asleep at the wheel, and he left just for a moment, a brief moment. But how would someone know that he left for a brief moment? There have to be some type of place, an overhead or an underhead compartment, or maybe even a peephole somewhere for a person to know that he actually left the station. Or if that's not the case, two people were involved, a person committing a crime inside of the steam room and a person who was person's lookout waiting for him to leave, giving them a heads up. The second person ran to get the keys from his desk, opened the door, went inside. Or the killer, or here, or the true example could be the killer is not two people. The killer is just one person who waited for him to leave by causing a distraction for him to leave for a moment, and took the keys, went there, killed the guy. Done, sir. Done. This is wrong, though. I know when I'm tired.
Did you leave the baths at any time, or receive any visitors?
No, sir. I did not.
I know when I'm wrong is... I know I'm wrong. And I know when I'm wrong because I'm tired. That's when I know I'm wrong. And when I start picking bad things, or making bad mistakes, or even suggesting that maybe this could or could not be the case, and I actually pick it anyway, it means I'm tired. I'm not thinking straight. Or from walking into walls over and over, means I'm really tired. It might be the morning of the following day, but my work does not dictate hours and time periods. It only dictates when I'm finished doing my work. And that could be any time, as long as I'm finished for the day. What was it? It's not Bloody Keys. It's not Chill Champagne. Morning Telegram. Oh yes, the Morning Telegram. So there's no telegram at his table, so he had to have made his morning telegram somewhere else.
You
Yeah.
are not telling the truth, Mr. Phillips. You left your work this morning, and you went to the post office, where you dispatched a telegram at around 7:30.
But how could you... No,
The telegram was for someone in Manchester.
Mr. Holmes, it's I'll tell you everything. I left the baths at 7:20. My sister wrote to me yesterday, and she needed a reply, or our mother is unwell. I was away for 20 minutes, and I closed the baths on my way out.
Did you receive a reply from your sister?
No, she wasn't meant to. I just told her to pawn my old school uniform so that she could pay for the medication.
Did you check to see if the key was still in your desk when you returned?
No, I didn't. Please, Mr. Holmes, don't tell the police about this. Sir Gregory would give me the sack. I need this job.
I see. There is a bottle of champagne on ice in the changing room. Do you have any idea who left it there?
There is? Are you quite certain? I didn't pay any attention. Do you believe that it's important?
Oh, this is humorous. For a guy who's fastidious, he's rather lacking in that department. He decided to leave his post and go send a post telegram to his sister. And then he doesn't even remember the group of men going into the bathhouse and one of them carrying a champagne bottle. He's very organized and very into his work, but he can't even remember something like that. Very interesting. So our killer might have showed up thereafter while he was doing his telegram. So let's see, what time is it? I got a few minutes, so yeah, I'll do an hour of this and then proceed forward. If it goes a little bit above that, then I don't think I'll be doing more than an hour and a half. Internet seems to be working fine, so I must take advantage of it when I can. So this makes sense that I should take advantage of my internet being working fine when I can.
All these events are bad for the baths and my job.
I still need to find something to lift up that stone. It's on the coal. Maybe a poker or something, but there's no poker around this damn thing. I was thinking maybe in the walls. What's this? Oh, Jesus.
With the steam on, I'm unable to see even a few feet away.
Interesting. Holmes is basically saying everyone was, you couldn't tell who was in here due to the heavy steam. So the person was definitely stealthing. It wasn't something as simple as coming into steam and killing the person. It was a stealth maneuver. Thought I would find something within the smoke, but Apparently not. Let me try one more time.
With the steam on, I'm unable to see even a few feet away.
Yeah, this won't work. Yep, so best solution is turn the steam off and find a poker or something.
The steam room. Frigidarium. This area serves as Sir Rodney Bentcliffe's workshop. Tools used by archaeologists in their research. Tools. I will need these tongs. Tools. A shape has been cut in the plate. What should be done with it? Archaeological findings. Old clay pots with numbers inscribed upon them.
Miraculous reopening. Really? Why would it be miraculous? So it would appear that Mr. Rodney, who got killed, knew something in regards to something he excavated. My. Isn't this something? Last time I checked, when Mr. Black Peter got killed, something was stolen from a museum. An excavation piece. I don't think the two stories are connected because Riddle on the Rails wasn't really connected towards Black Peter. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's some shenanigans going on. Are there any similarities within Riddle on the Rails and Black Peter? Were there any rail companies described in Black Peter's investigation? There were bankers that went bankrupt during the time period for which I guess the Depression happened and many companies collapsed and went bankrupt. Thus, the son of one of the suspects was killed on the seas or abandoned the seas. Nothing was really resolved with regards to him. But that's about it. Bankers. And here in this situation of this game, once again, investment bankers. And another treasure possibly present. Riddle on the Rails was more about prototype and competing companies. So no, I don't think they're related. I'd be surprised if they are. Wait a minute, I wasn't done.
Archaeological findings. Old clay pots with numbers inscribed upon them. Glass plate negatives, a remarkable method for recording ancient civilizations. A glass plate negative is missing. It is a glass plate negative of an Egyptian statue. Archaeological findings. Old clay pots with numbers inscribed upon them.
This area serves as Sir Rodney Bentcliffe's workshop.
you all right? I wonder how this could have happened.
Yes, it is somewhat treacherous. Fortunately, I am unscathed. To where does this corridor lead?
To the frigidarium, the coal room.
Barely unscathed and by a very small margin. And treacherous is an understatement.
Holmes is very curious guy, but what Watson is saying is completely true. For people running a bathhouse to have something cave in like this all of a sudden is very curious. I mean, how would people who are running this bathhouse not know that something like this would happen one day? I mean, the guy is an archaeologist, but if he was digging inside of the bathhouse, it would make sense for this to erode and fold over. But for the gentleman not questioning the safety of the people coming to the bathhouse with something like this, that's some OSHA violation shit there. It's not up to code.
Those stones weigh tons. We won't move them.
It does not matter. If our investigation requires it, we shall ask for them to be removed.
Those stones weigh
It does not matter.
Those stones.
It does not.
I'm always wondering what's on your mind, Holmes.
These baths...
I should analyze this melted metal. These lenses are for myopia. The wearer is short-sighted. These lenses... One lens is cracked, probably due to the temperature of the brazier.
And why the hell would someone do something that foolish? Putting their glasses next to a brazier. Let's try this again.
I don't want to stay here. Let us out.
Do we... It's horrible. I can't talk at the moment.
Unopened. Unopened. Champagne for a special... On the sofa for the third time today. Well, don't be surprised if Watson sits on you again.
What should we do next, Holmes?
White clay particles. Selenite. Pyrite, otherwise known as fool's gold. Interesting. According to the color and its composition, I deduce that this sample is white clay. Now, I need to find which area near London this sample belongs to. The sample of dirt belongs to the White London clay region, located near the city of St. Albans. Let us analyze this blood sample. This blood has not coagulated well. It seems very liquid. That is strange. Let us see what is inside it. Hydrogen peroxide will bring any foreign matter to the surface. I must take a pipette and place several drops of hydrogen peroxide.
I forgot what peroxide does again. I think it has heavy traces of carbon or H2O in it, which is necessary for breathing life into things. That's why when you have a wound, you rub it off with hydrogen peroxide. Well, let me look at peroxide. I think I could be wrong, but let me see. Okay, so peroxide is presence of a single covalent bond between two oxygen atoms. The most common example is hydrogen peroxide, H2O. See, I knew it. It had to do with breathing oxygen and giving life into something. Like if you're lacking, if blood is lacking a certain amount of health to it, it's lacking oxygen for it to have life. It says often simply called peroxide. Peroxide have various applications including bleaching, disinfecting, and initiators for polymers. Okay, so in this situation is bleaching it out to remove unsanitized, disinfect, to remove contaminants that are not related towards hydrogen and oxygen within the blood. So it's a disinfectant, giving oxygen into the blood to make things that are part of the blood and part of the anatomy of the blood more clearly, or separate that which is alien from that which is organic. So I knew it had something to do with that. I was always wondering why people are always telling you to clean off any type of wound with hydrogen peroxide, then put ointment on it. It's simply to remove any type of foreign contaminants away from the blood, while at the same time giving oxygen into the blood, including some hydrogen.
I must take a pipette and place several drops of hydrogen peroxide.
Wait, what did you say?
I must take a pipette and place several drops of hydrogen peroxide.
Okay. Where should I place it? Oh, it's not. Oh, seems to be the most logical choice. Says here. So one is here. What if I put one here? And also over here.
Water. This blood is heavily diluted with water.
Okay. So what the hydrogen peroxide told me, once I gave it some oxygen and separate the contaminants from the rest of the blood itself, that majority of the blood was filled with water more than anything else. I don't see how that could be considered a contaminant, being heavily filled, unless the hydrogen peroxide is basically saying there's too much water present within his experiment due to the blood being full of water, of too much oxygen. Yeah. Let's continue. Next one.
This is a piece of metal taken from a brazier. It appears to be silver, but I need to be sure. If it is silver, it will be possible to melt it, since silver's melting point is at around 900 degrees Celsius. Let us compare this sample with a silver penny by testing it with acid. If it changes color to match the result of a reaction with a silver coin, then it is silver. I must take a pipette and place several drops of acid upon the samples.
What the hell? Someone's calling me right now. Several messages. What is this? Oh, important notice. Oh, great. Because of shit's happening in the Middle East, my job is have to. Everyone has to be on the guard. Everyone has to be on guard. The fear of retaliation. Well, my job is pertaining towards partially with regards to transportation of certain goods, so it would make sense. It does change color. This did change color. So I'll do it here. Take some more acid. Or maybe I don't have to. Just drop it here.
The reaction is the same red stain.
Yes.
It is silver. Britannia silver quality.
And let me guess. Someone decided to... The premonitions from Final Jeez, man. I'm getting messages from all over the place. Now it's the premonitions from Final Destination 6 is not the point. The point is the death was cheated and how the survivors respond to it. The point is death's design. If you spend your life trying to cheat death. And see, this is why I don't even talk to people on the internet. The point is cheating death. Death's design. But like, this is how you know people don't use their heads a lot.
My analysis table. It is useful for my work.
If it was something as simple as cheating death in Final Destination 6, then the whole franchise would have just a simple killer. Death is the killer. You can't cheat death. That is the point. Then all the other stories within all the other Final Destination movies would be very boring. Continuation of a story must have development in time from film to film to film to film. If it's the same thing and the point is the same in every single film, then there's no reason to watch any other future Final Destination film other than to watch people gruesomely get killed, which is psychotic. So the point cannot be just cheating death, because if that's the easy out, then it's rather simple. A lot of people don't like to have imagination. They want their meal to be exact and to the point with no imagination. That's why I like mystery games. Mystery games, there's a sense of imagination, even though everything is very obvious and symmetrical. The how you get to solve something is the imagination, not the symmetry of the thing itself. That's for home to decide. Imagination part is for me to decide. So I won't even indulge people who think they're smart when they're talking stuff. The whole Final Destination thing is about premonitions and death, cheating death. If death was the point, then there will be no need for premonitions to be added into the story from the beginning. And the premonition is simply a niche within the genre, which is pretty stupid. It has to be a point to why people have premonitions. Just that there has to be a point why witches can perform witchcraft. Well, you can't tell these numbnuts these things. They will argue with you till thy ending, till thy kingdom come, and eventually want to go to war with you like some freaking Iranians and Israelis fighting each other for centuries on end. Centuries, thousands of years. Like, people don't get that these motherfuckers have been fighting each other for thousands of years. And they'll keep doing so. Where did the Iranians come from? Oh, yeah, they came from, you know, the north. The north where? I don't know. I don't remember who they came from. Persians. Yes, they came from Persians. Correct. The Mondo. Where did Middle Eastern, Iraqis, and Kuwaitis come from? They came from the Sumites, Sumerians. And are they related? Are they brothers and sisters? Only through time they have been, but their origins are not related at all. They're foreigners in association to each other's bloodline. Individuals that try to cross over each other's land without permission, and in time came to settlements over many wars, and they gave up, and eventually the world came to evolve past them. Japanese having their own conflict, Europeans having their own conflict, American having their own conflict, and eventually time passes on, and everyone eventually came to know who Iranians, Iraqis, and Israelis are in time. They weren't relevant to the rest of the world around the world because the rest of the world around the world were too busy dealing with their own historic shit. That's why I won't never be dragged into their politics, because they are not important enough towards the creation of my existence and where I came from. And no American or South American or Australian or anyone not of that demographic of the Mesopotamia should get involved in the slightest. Let them solve their own problems by themselves, as it should be. And it is that simple. You know, see Australians dragging the world into their conflicts when they had their conflicts, or the Japanese people during the shogunate times saying, hey, you know, Africans, come over here to help us fight this war. Or Americans, join us so we could take over the prefecture of this location, because we're trying to overthrow the shogunate. No, very isolated, very singular, and individuals didn't want foreigners to get involved in their conflicts. But no, certain people in certain countries don't think that way. They want the whole world to drown with them. I don't think so. I would not. I refuse to get involved in the politics and nature of other human beings who didn't bring me into this world. So I think I should call it a day on this. And I think I'm looking for... Yeah, you know what? I ignore this for right now. I'm going to proceed with the story. Or what did I say I was going to do? I think I said I was going to play this for about an hour and 30 minutes at most, and then call it a day. But the thing is, here's the bad thing about this. I swear to God, this might be an opportunity that I'm not going to get again. The last 3-4 streams have been completely shit, and the internet keeps going down. I might not get this opportunity again to have this long of a stream, so I have to take these gifts when I have them. And that's the problem. They're interrupting my life in some ways, but if I don't take it now, it might never come when I do want it to. Alright, so let's proceed forward just 30 minutes more. And look back at this thing.
This is where I keep my post.
Before.
This is where I...
Oh, I can't read it again. Oh, wait a minute. I can. Okay. So Rodney's draft, 1893, was a remarkable year for my work. Egypt, 1893. Research. Wait, but why would I care about Yes, this is what I want. 1893. Newspaper. Anything that has to do with Egypt. Or 1893. 1893 East Africa Company. Okay. Mummy. The Desperate Mummy. Wait, what's that again? By the eye, he was punished, for he saw what he was not. He saw what he was not worthy. The mummy is believed to be Roman rather than Egyptian, as some symbols found in the tombs are in common with Mithritic. No, there's no T there. It's Mithric. Mithric. Yeah, Mithric. Mysteries. Wait, let me read this again. Desperate mummy. Due to her very peculiar characteristic, it's a her. Nearby could be read in Latin. By the eye, he was punished, for he saw what he was not worthy. The mummy is believed to be Roman rather than Egyptian. So the mummy, which is female, is stating on the mummy's grave, by the eye he was punished, for he saw what he was not worthy. So it's just a saying of people seeing something that they should not have seen, and they weren't worthy to see it. So it doesn't matter if the word he was used in the description, as the description itself of what was stated to be seen, not whether it was a she or he. It's just a phrasing. So the female mummy saw something. The Roman female mummy saw something she wasn't supposed to see. Or maybe Mr. Rodney also saw something. Or wait a minute. By the eye he was punished, for he saw what he was not worthy. So the Roman mummy is basically saying, the female Roman mummy, is that Mr. Sir Rodney saw the female Roman mummy. The game is trying to be clever. Mr. Rodney saw the female Roman mummy, and he died because he saw it. Like some damn freaking snake-headed freaking, I forgot her name. Medusa. Like if you watch Medusa, snakehead, you turns to stone. But in this case, he gets killed because he saw the female mummy. But that doesn't necessarily mean what that means. It could just have been a phrase meant for the dead Roman woman saw something when she was alive and she died. But I think it's just nice little phrasing of words to be clever and say that Mr. Rodney saw something he wasn't supposed to see, so he died.
Here it is.
By the eye he was punished, for he saw that he was not worthy. Dreadful.
Is it dreadful, Watson? Doesn't seem dreadful at all. Well, I guess from a certain point of view it would be dreadful. What are you doing over
I'm
there,
always
Watson?
wondering what's on your mind, Holmes.
On the sofa for the third time today. Well, don't be surprised if Watson sits on you again.
Hound dog. Is he a hound dog? I think he is. I forgot what that type of dog is called. Alright, so that's that for that. I found the mummy. Right, what else I need to do? Missing weapon, yes. I need to find the missing weapon that was used to kill Sir Rodney. Would I be able to find it?
This is where I keep my post.
Research.
My archive.
Yeah.
I can always consult with it if needed.
Okay, so I think that's it for right now, and this is also it
My
for
analysis
right now.
table.
Yep.
It is useful for my work.
And should I go into Holmes' room and change over? I think so. It doesn't want me to do it, so I won't do it. Very well, let's proceed with the story. So where should we head to next? Wait. He is a gentleman who possesses the wealth, notoriety, and vigor to well match the finest of his ilk among in England, and intellect equal to his charms, as has oft been declared by the young ladies of the European aristocracy. He holds powerful connections within the Lord's Chamber. Declares an influence inside political world. Really? So he has connections within the Lord's Chamber and influence inside powerful political world. So a lot of people know exactly what he's doing. Unforgiving. Really? Authoritarian. Really? Well, a lot of people would consider an ambitious and determined man to be authoritarian when they want something done their particular way. Now that wouldn't be authoritarian, would it? If it has to be done a certain way. Well, yes, it would be authoritarian. You have to follow this by a specific way, and only this way. Falls in line with dictatorship as well, I guess, but unforgiving. There's a lot of countries that have authoritarianism in there. China is one that can be seen as one. Certain places in England can be seen as authoritarian. Hell, certain places in the US can be seen as authoritarian. But unforgiving because it's authoritarian. Highly unlikely, unless you're an opposing party. Well, that basically, Daily Mirror basically tells me that a lot of people wouldn't mind off them. That's what that tells me. Not just one or two people. People within political climate as well as religious climate as well. Maybe he's unraveling things that he's not supposed to. Kind of like Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade. You're not supposed to find the chalice. This is forbidden for you to touch holiness. Okay, let's head back. "20 more minutes. And I'll make sure I start to eat something and then concentrate on my work. And if I fall asleep at the wheel, get a couple of sleep, then get right back on that wheel again."
All these events are bad.
Mr. Holmes, I should like to take the suspects to the yard. You can interrogate them there. Any objections?
Please wait. I need to do something first.
Those stones...
It does not matter.
Doesn't matter. I was trying to check out their shoes to see if there's any type of mud or anything on it. And then I got distracted by the design. Thought it meant something, but I realized it's just design choice. It means nothing. Already took a sample of the blood. Strange that I can't touch this.
With the steam on, I'm unable to see even a few feet away.
Nothing. Alright, so Mr. Lestrade will have to take them in. I was hoping for something.
Mr. Holmes?
None, Lestrade.
Okay.
What should we do next, Holmes?
Rodney Bentcliffe's notebook. It may contain something of interest. The last pages were torn out. We must find a way of retrieving Sir Rodney's last lines. Watson, please prevent anyone from entering the room. But first, fetch me a pencil. To begin with, a few strokes of the pencil will be enough. I don't want to damage the traces. and then to gently smudge the leftover pencil marks with a handkerchief. I'm sure that Watson won't mind if I use his.
I'm sure certain people will think this is like an ingenious thing, but not really. Like if you do drawing, this type of stuff happens regardless. When you press heavily on a piece of paper, indentations happen anyway.
Mr. Holmes, the coroner... But what are you doing? Tampering with the evidence?
I prefer to make them talk. Today, I almost found it. This date will go down in history. Sir Rodney was about to make an outstanding discovery.
Wonderful.
I could retrieve only the final words. The rest of it is lost. Perhaps the autopsy will assist us in that matter.
I'm not sure that I can allow you to inspect the body now.
I am sure that you must, Constable.
Well...
Damn police, all about protocol. Curved-bladed knife. Let me finish this up. Strange, but for Black Peter, I never examined his body. I don't know if I was being cocky or anything, but I don't think I needed to examine his body, since the directions of who the story went towards the gardener anyway, for which I knew there was always a third party involved. That punk kid couldn't have done it. He used the damn javelin. It had to be someone watching. I didn't know that he was involved with the woman, though. That's the only thing that threw me off. Like, why would someone be involved with someone that old? Different times, I guess.
A hand-drawn map. An old and rather dirty coin. This ring was most likely the one that Sir Rodney wore. He removed it before entering the steam room. An Egyptian symbol. It is a very old jewel.
So he wore an ancient ring. Must think highly of himself.
An Egyptian... I see the join. This ring was repaired, and quite badly too, with silver.
Why on earth would they wear such a ring?
A very pertinent question.
Really, Watson? I know Watson's a doctor and everything, but sometimes I really think that the design for the character in Watson in this game is rather slow. I'm not saying Watson is slow. I'm saying the people who design Watson in this game make him out to be slow. Watson in the books is Not really slow.
An ordinary pencil.
I realized one thing, that I didn't do the whole spotlight thing on Riddle on the Rails, because I believe that one was kind of straightforward. I didn't really need to put spotlights. I kind of knew where that direction of that story was going. It wasn't that complicated. It's just trying to figure out exactly who out of the three were the real bad guys. Where Black Peter was a little bit more complicated because it involved so many different factors, which turn out to be all BS, mostly breadcrumbs going nowhere. Here I might need to set up spotlights if there are plenty of players in this story other than one or two factors. But at the moment I think I should stop. Yeah, it's 2 hours in. I'll stop for right now. It doesn't matter if I have good internet. Like, I still got to do personal things along the way. So what can I say about this story? I'm at a 7.4 to with regards to crimes and punishments. Slowly but surely the game is gaining quality as I play them. New things are revealed. New aspects of the gameplay are revealed with regards to the story. Certain things change from mission to mission. And as they create more of these missions, they add more things into it. So the accumulation of points grows based on the quality of the story and the investigation. It's like they're increasing the difficulty of, if not the investigation and the stories themselves, but how you go about solving them. I'm not sure if they want you to solve it, otherwise they wouldn't create the skip button, but then at the same time they're aware that certain people don't want to play certain games to solve things. They just want to be entertained by them. But I would say, yeah, it's getting good. For right now, I would say where I am right now, I'm at a 7.5. This seems to be a little bit more intriguing than Black Peter. Not as much as Riddle and the Rails, because a disappearing train with a prototype seems to be far more grander than just murder. But here we have murder and the mystery of ancient Egypt and possibly a curse. So that seems even more grander. So it's like a combination of Black Peter and Riddle on the Rails mixed in one. Now if there are multiple people involved that are unknown factors, then I'm definitely going to say this is the better of the two. Or out of the three, this might be the better one, depending on how the direction of the investigation goes. If it's something as annoying as a chemistry set bullshit from Black Peter, which completely, I believe that part completely ruined the entire game. If it's something that dumb. Yeah, now that I think about it, that simple chemistry section in Black Peter probably ruined the entire game for me. That mission for me. So, yeah. Once I got the Riddles on the Rails, that Riddles on the Rails was automatically better than Black Peter simply because they didn't have a pissed off chemistry part. Alright, so I'll have to call it a day on this. I'll find this weapon and I'll question. Maybe I should just question them right now and come back here. I'll question them right now and I'll end it off there after questioning them.
Good day to you, Mr. Holmes.
please escort this suspect for interrogation. Good day to you, sir. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and I am assisting the police with their investigation of the murder of Sir Rodney Bentcliffe. Would you mind if I asked you a few questions?
Not at all, Mr. Holmes. My name is Percival Blinkhorn.
Focused and attentive to what I'm about to say means he's either worried or he wants to cooperate. Like going in an interview, you're either focused or you're worried. Not wealthy. He was in a bathhouse taking a bath. Well, you don't have to be wealthy to be in a bathhouse, but in a Romanesque bathhouse from a famous guy, very suspicious. So he's attentive. He's not wealthy. He has calluses on his hands, which means he was doing labor. The last person who has calluses in the middle of their hands was also a gardener, and the other one was a professional hitman. Both were murderers. Recent earthwork. So here's the guard. God damn it, another gardener. Yeah, but it's too obvious this time. Throwing in the gardener, like, does the people who made this game hate gardeners or something? I wonder. Or maybe they think gardeners are weird.
What is your occupation?
I'm an archaeologist, specializing in the Roman period. I'm working on several excavation sites at present, including the baths at Strand Lane.
Can you tell me more about the baths?
Well, we're hoping to retrieve a great many interesting artifacts from the site, and to list any items of value before their eventual restoration and exhibition.
And has it been successful?
It has, thanks to Sir Rodney.
So, not a gardener, but an excavationist. Well, that's one or two ways to get your hands dirty. So, thank God for that. Not another gardener. I think the guy who was also the killer in the second one. No, not the killer. One of the station managers was also gardener. He was a guilty party, but he wasn't for something, but he wasn't the murderer. Guilty of his Achilles, of being incompetent, I believe. He seems reluctant to talk about Sir Brownie. What did you see?
Can you tell me what you saw today?
Well, we entered the steam room and we all went to sit down. The steam was particularly dense, and I didn't see anything much further after that. I just heard Mr. Garrow shouting. But we all ran for the door and bumped into each other. I was very alarmed by this point.
What did you do?
Well, the door was stuck, and with all the steam, it was quite frightening. I was barely able to see my own feet. Garrow was covered in blood.
Do you believe that Garrow killed Sir Rodney?
Oh, no. Garrow couldn't harm a fly.
It's very peculiar to me that people will go inside of a steam room and the steam is so dense that they wouldn't be able to see. They wouldn't they yell out loud like, "Hey man, I can't hardly see my damn feet, let alone where the door is. Can you turn down the steam a little?" That's very strange.
What was your relationship with Sir Rodney?
Well, I couldn't say that he was a kind man, no. But he was talented. I felt a great admiration for him, I must say.
Was it your first collaboration?
I had met Sir Rodney briefly once in Egypt, and I'd shared my researches with him. Surprisingly, my work did convince him to come here. He arrived only a couple of months ago.
Surprisingly?
Well, Sir Rodney was, a cold man, and so very secretive too. But I learned so much from him. I can't believe that he's dead.
So he worked directly with Sir Rodney. He said he was a cold man, but secretive as well. I believe him, since he's very attentive and not wealthy. Anything unusual?
Can you recall any recent event that would occur to you now as being a little strange?
Well, yesterday we had a small argument.
Is that all?
No. Sir Rodney informed me that he was to attend the London Archaeological Congress with me. Then he advised me of quite the opposite. And rather aggressively, too.
I wonder why that is, sir. Maybe because you're poor. And he's rich. Maybe he is ashamed the circle he run with would see you. But that doesn't make sense. Could simply have dressed you up. About this ring.
Do you recognize this ring?
Certainly. It's the famous Aswan ring. Sir Rodney brought it back from his last campaign in Egypt.
And he kept it for himself?
Sir Rodney has had his own particular ideas of archaeology.
Yes, many men do. I would give a portion of what I've discovered to a museum and to a library and to a gala, and I'll keep a certain small portion to myself, the portion that I like and makes me feel special. Now, he just told me what his work is. What would he know about melted silver? Maybe he does. Let me ask him about the champagne. Doubt he would know anything about that, because that's a rich man's idea.
Did you place the bottle of champagne in the changing room?
No, I did not.
Figures. He does work in archaeology, but would he know anything about melted silver? I think that wouldn't be his proficiency, unless his proficiency is to melt silver to discover something. I don't think that would be his proficiency anyway, unless Mr. Rodney forced him to do something.
We discovered some melted silver in the brazier. Did you put it there?
No. Silver, you say? No, I don't know how it got there.
Silver, you say? I don't know how it got there. Yes, yes. I think Mr. Rodney and you have a very interesting relationship. His behavior is rather, but seems to be a much smarter man than he's leading on.
How well were your researchers progressing before Sir Rodney's arrival?
Rather well.
He acted up when I told him about a coin. He didn't act up when I told him about the ring. I didn't mention anything about a bloody key. I doubt this is it, but it's the most logical one. Yeah.
How well were your researchers progressing before Sir Rodney's arrival?
Rather well.
Okay, researchers progressing. Work progress. Before Sir Rodney's arrival. Now Sir Rodney's like an authoritarian type who wants things done specifically his way and on time. So if he said rather well, if Sir Rodney showed up, he probably rushed things and pissed off this guy. Pitkin's letter. I forgot what was in Pitkin's letter. Completely forgot that. This is unrelated. This is unrelated. He already spoke about the ring. What the hell is Pitkin's letter?
This letter reveals that Sir Gregory was prepared to put a stop to your work.
Yes. But since Sir Rodney's arrival, he had calmed down. He allowed us to work. I'm not sure what they agreed on.
What will happen now that Sir Rodney is dead?
Well, I haven't thought about that. But if it's needed, I will fight to defend Sir Rodney's expectations.
I doubt that. Your turn.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation. Good day to you, Sir Gregory. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting the police with their investigation of the murder that took place this morning. Would you mind answering a few questions?
Tell me, Mr. Holmes, will I need to stay here for very much longer?
I already know who he is. He already told me so many things about himself. Physically, behaviorally, and emotionally. 3 things he just revealed in that little outburst just now. 1, physically, he's of a certain age. He's very clean cut. Probably doesn't labor a lot. That's the reason for his complaining easy when it comes to anything that has to do with harshness. His clothes is nice and clean, and his behavior is abrasive. Which means his profession is kind of like Sir Rodney's. I need to get shit done when I need to get shit done, and you're wasting my time. He told me so much about himself with that little outburst. Your profession.
You are the manager of the baths, is that correct?
Yes. I'm passionate about archaeology. I wanted to restore the ruins. My ambition is to open the baths to the public. Living archaeology can be a profitable business, although now I'm not so sure.
I see. When do you wish to begin using the baths?
When the archaeological researches are over, I will be free to complete the restoration. It is the usual process.
He has ambitions, and he's waiting for archaeological research to be finished so he could follow in his ambitions. Let's see what Sir Rodney
What
thinks
was
of
your
you.
relationship with Sir Rodney Bentcliffe?
We were not particularly close. He had an unpleasant temperament. Suspicious, authoritarian, unkind. People possessed by genius may be forgiven for their nature, but not by me.
Was he obstructive?
Not at all. Everything he did led us to greater success. He helped us increase the potential of the building.
I know something else in this little guy's behavior. He moved forward very aggressively towards Holmes, and Holmes backed away in his seat when speaking of Sir Rodney. I surmised that he might want to speed up Mr. Sir Rodney's excavation so he could go for his ambitions. It doesn't mean he committed murder, but he's a very aggressive person. I think he already told me his work. Let me do it once over.
How was the work progressing before Sir Rodney's arrival?
Rather slowly, I would say.
Yes, he does want it to speed up. It's most likely that he would be the person to have the chill champagne. Wants to smooth talk Mr. Sir Rodney with some champagne. Could be. I don't think he cares about Roman coin. Let's try this. Nope. So it's not him. It's not him who
How
bought
was
that
the
champagne.
Rather slowly, I would say.
And it's not the Roman coin either. Good.
How was the...
Rather slowly, I would say.
I like this because that means he's unpredictable. The others are easy to figure out. Him being unpredictable means he's very, very evasive. Very good. The Roman coin, Pitkin's letter, a ring, bloody key. Now why would it be the bloody key? He is the manager of the bathhouse. So he would know about the key, wouldn't he? Yes, let's go with that. But then the game says no. Oh, this guy is fascinating.
How was the work?
Rather slowly, I would say.
Out of everyone else, he's, or should I say, out of everything I've discovered so far, he's the most fascinating person. Because everything is unrelated to him. And the thing that you would think isn't related to him might be related to him. Like Pitkin's letter. Like, yeah, this, and this are the things you might believe is related, but then it will turn out to be like Pitkin's letter. But I just spoke with Pitkin's letter to the other guy.
Sir Gregory,
See what
could
I
you
mean?
please explain this letter? You expressed the wish to call off the research work at the baths.
It was all about Blinkhorn. He was merrily digging away and taking very little care about it, ruining everything and finding nothing of any value.
But the arrival of Sir Rodney changed your mind?
Sir Rodney's work was extremely promising, and it was good for the bath's publicity. So yes, I changed my mind.
Yes. This is when I realized my mind is deviating from paying attention. When I know I'm supposed to get off soon. The letter was his. Okay.
Please tell me what happened this morning.
The test that we performed this morning was a success. The steam was working well. But then, of course, that awful murder.
What did you see?
The steam was too thick to see anything. But ask Garrow. He saw the body first.
Garrow saw the body first.
Had Sir Rodney exhibited any recent strange behavior?
Look, I'm not a suspicious fellow, but I think that he had professional interests elsewhere that he did not wish us to know about.
Why should you think that? Where?
I have no idea. But after all, it was not my business.
Some melted silver was found inside the steam room brazier. Do you know where it came from?
Silver? No.
Did you bring a bottle of champagne to the baths?
Absolutely not. Sir Rodney did, I think.
Okay, so that solved that mystery. Sir Rodney bought the champagne. That's why when I click for champagne, it marked as you're picking the wrong choice because it wasn't him who bought the champagne. Yes, this guy is nice and dressed, and yes, he has money enough to be manager of this place, but the champagne was brought by Sir Rodney. But for who was he going to share that champagne with? Someone obviously of importance, otherwise he wouldn't put it on ice and give it to anyone, including his own personal laborers. Definitely not the first suspect. This guy is very aggressive. Something don't seem right about him. I could tell Sherlock doesn't like him, simply because Sherlock is always leaning back in his seat every time the guy moves forward. Like Sherlock figures the guy wants to do something to him. Here's what I'm guessing. I'm guessing Sherlock wants this guy to be the murderer. Sometimes I believe even the greatest detective or nicest of people sometimes want certain people who they think have it coming to be that person. And when it turns out to be who they think it is, they have some satisfaction in knowing that that person is the actual killer. So in some sense, I could be predicting things with regards to Sherlock behavior with regards to him, but
please escort this suspect for interrogation.
Out of the three suspects,
a good day to you.
This guy,
my name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting the police with their investigation of the murder of Sir Rodney Bentcliffe. Would you mind if I asked you a few questions?
I am Tristram Garrow.
Not the person I was expecting.
What is your occupation?
I am a counsellor at the district chamber.
And what were you doing at the baths?
Well, I follow the researches. I am interested in archaeology.
You follow them?
Yes. So many things happened and we need to know. Or perhaps it's better hidden.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Garrow.
I meant nothing by that. I apologise.
What was it like to work with Sir Rodney?
It was like working with a genius. He was a hard man, but then you know this world is hard. There are always people who want to steal from you. And he trusted me, but oh.
Are you feeling unwell?
Oh, I'm sorry. It is I remember. Oh, I feel so sorry.
Do you need anything?
I feel bad. I hear... No, nothing. I'm better now.
Mr. Garrow is an unstable man. Now, why would someone like Mr. Rodney want someone like Mr. Garrow to be working with him? That is the question. Anyone who speaks to Mr. Garrow could tell that something's off about Mr. Garrow. Even if Mr. Garrow did not see a murderer, like say he was just walking down the street one day talking about pigeons, anyone would be able to tell based on his stuttering and his traveling off for a few seconds with regards to his words that there's something not right about him. He doesn't come across as aggressive, but he does come across as not completely attentive either. The first guy was particularly attentive. The second guy was also very attentive, but arrogant at the same time. He is not attentive nor arrogant. You know, I'm going to be really pissed off if the game is putting this guy as the killer. I'm like so sick of that humble man pretending to be nice and meager and disabled and turns out he's just pretending. Like, that's been done already. I wish people would just get over it. It's the same with Black Peter. The whole romance thing, trial of passion, it's been done already. Over and over again.
His ring! Oh, it should be destroyed.
Why do you say that?
It is a cursed ring, digging dark secrets.
Really?
It is after me now. I know it. I shouldn't have worked on it in the workshop. It's too late now.
So this guy's a superstitious person. I wonder why he believes that. Did Mr. Rodney tell him about this, or did he discover about it and Mr. Rodney was fascinated about it and went to dig it up anyway? And how would he know about it anyway before Mr. Rodney would? Interesting.
Please try to recall what you saw today.
The room was so hot, I had to remove my glasses. I was not feeling so very well in there.
But you found the body.
I saw the knife, you know, flying through the air. I saw the blood. I tried to escape. I don't remember.
Saw the knife? What did it look like?
Everything was as if in a nightmare. It all happened so fast. The knife was shining like gold.
He saw the knife.
Had Sir Rodney exhibited any recent strange behavior?
Well, he had been rather secretive these past few days. Last Thursday, for example, I saw him leave. When he returned, it was very late. He showed me some wet coins, Roman coins, and he started to laugh. This is the coin that he showed me. It is from the 3rd century.
It must be very rare.
No, I don't know.
How would he not know if it's from the freaking 3rd century? It is rare. Like, listen, if the damn thing is over 300, over 500 years old, it's rare and valuable. If it's over 1,000 years old, it's more than rare. It's a freaking thing you should never sell. Third century BC. How long ago was that? I wouldn't even try to estimate. 700 to... I'm not even going to try. 800, no, not trying. Melted silver.
We discovered some melted silver in the brazier. Did you put it there?
It didn't help. The power is too strong.
Did you place the bottle of champagne in the changing room?
What? No.
Yes, he had to ask it again, just in case our boy here said yes. Because then that would make the other guy claims with regards to Mr. Rodney brought it in as a lie. So, Mr. Rodney bought in the champagne. But for who did he brought it in for? Obviously wasn't for him, and wasn't for the other suspects either. So there was someone else other than the 3 people in there. Obviously, the person that took the keys when our so-called attendant went to make a telegraph to his sister, came in, took the keys out the desk, went through the door, killed them, went right back out, made sure the room was nice and steamy so no one could see him, and got out, locked the door behind him so no one could get out. And then, instead of putting the key back, decided to leave the key underneath the body. I'm starting to think that maybe the person never intended to drop the key. It was dropped on accident during the struggle. That was something that was done quick. It was a quick initiation to kill the person. Now, what I've noticed in this game that's been present from the beginning, for instance, I first started playing it, is I've noticed that there've always been male killers and no female killers. I'm not sure if that's a thing that's going on here and intentionally, but I'm starting to think that there's a bit of prejudice in this game for the reason why there've always been male killers and no female killers. But I'll give the game 2 additional points if it turns out that there's a female killer in this one. So, and I'll subtract 1 point. No, I'll subtract 2 points. I'll give it 2 points and then I'll subtract 2 points if there's no female killers in this one. Because it's very strange to me. I'm third mission in and all the killers have been male. Seems to be rather strange since this game wasn't like made in the 90s or something, or even the early 2000s. Then again, I'm not exactly sure when this game was made, but based on the graphics, it tells me that this type of graphics, it wasn't made in the 90s, obviously, or even the early 2000s. It's much too clean for that. Maybe mid 2000s to past the 2010s. Now, why would I care whether there's a woman in here or not? Because there have not been any reason to have a female as a villain in the story as of yet. I just wanted something different. But then again, there's nothing in the story and contents and evidence that points towards there needing to be a woman in the story, so it might just be another dude. It'd just be interesting if it is a woman. There was no evidence that Mr. Rodney has any relationships whatsoever, so I doubt it will be a woman this time. Probably just another competing or political rival. A competing archaeologist or political rival or religious rival. That's not a woman.
Garrow appears to be rather mentally disturbed. Either that or he is a good actor.
Yes, Holmes was saying the same thing I was thinking. For his behavior is rather odd. He's in an interrogation and he's behaving erratic. Not a good look to be behaving that way. Because you're trying too hard to try to convince the person that there's something wrong with you. So things can't be locked onto you, but at the same time you're literally hanging yourself at the same time, because the person, if they're intelligent, will suspect that you're putting on a show. So Garros is second in command for main suspect, and Mr. Aggressive is first in line for main suspect. And number one main suspect, even though there's first is him and then Garros second, I would say the number one main suspect, or number 0, will be our boy who sent a telegram to his sister. Seems very suspicious in his case. Either he's incredibly incompetent or he's intentionally the killer for reasons I don't know. But I'll keep him as number 1, Garros as number 2. Is if things pop up to show that Garrow is the main person. Otherwise, then I'll put him in the back burner. So those are my three suspects. Him is unlikely to be killing. I'll be very, very surprised if he actually killed him. And I guess someone would probably say, well, he has many reasons to want to kill Mr. Rodney. Many reasons. He worked for him, probably for cheap. He doesn't get good clothes. He gets treated like shit. He has to do all his work. He's authoritarian, pushes him around. Too easy. Too easy. Too easy and too obvious. Just like the whole Black Peter situation, just like Riddle on the Rails. The most obvious person that you thought was it was not the obvious. It wasn't really, you know, the harpoon guy in the bar. And it wasn't really Mr. Shady Businessman Thompson frauding things with regards to his prototype. But they were associated at some degree. So they're putting him, Mr. Blinkhorn, as the killer. The easy, obvious choice. If he is the easy, obvious choice and is the killer, then sometimes a spade is a spade. That's why I'm not entirely removing my hooks from him. He's just third in line. But he's way too easy. And that's it for right now. My gut feeling tells me it is Mr. Blinkhorn. See, the moment I left here and I walked away and I thought about it, the first thing that popped up in my mind was a big freaking smile. And the smile didn't come across his face or his face. It came across Mr. Blinkhorn's face. But that's what the game wants me to think. But you don't fool me, friend. You don't fool me at all. You and that guy who's incompetent to leave his station and make his phone call. Well, we'll see. Everything will show themselves in time. I was mostly right about Black Peter, and I was mostly right about Riddles on the Rails. So I have good feelings about this one as well. I'll probably also be mostly right about this one as well. It is, Mr. Blinkhorn is giving me the killer vibes, even now. But that's very much so, obviously designed to be present for him to be hated, which is an obvious presented thing. And then, for reasons why that is to make sure Mr. Garrow's here seems not like the killer, acting like he's not a killer, but he is a killer. But once again, that is so cliche, and that would really piss me off if they're going down the usual suspect route. If you've ever seen that movie, that would really piss me off. Because that means the people who made this game has no fucking imagination. Oh well, we'll see. We'll see. I still think it's our aggressive boy, but not aggressive in the nature of he's actually did the killing. Aggressive in the nature of he's involved somehow. So, who I actually think is the killer is Mr. Blinkhorn, standing right in the center. But I'm not fooled by the manager either. I know, even though the game wants me to pick Mr. Blinkhorn, my true eye is, see, this is how I do things. My feeling, I separate my feeling and my logic and my mind into sections. My feeling tells me you have the aura of Lucifer. But my mind and the aura of Lucifer has nothing to do with the eye of Lucifer. And the eye of Lucifer points towards you. and the nature of Lucifer points towards you. Now, which is more important with regards to solving a situation? That's why I have spotlights to spot the little evil within their characteristics. It says, the eye says it's you. Kind of like the evil eye of that poem where the guy had that big eagle eye. You, the eagle eye's on you. But you're trying to fool me using him. It's not going to work. See, the feeling is to make me attaching myself and look back and say, oh, you're following me, Mr. Guy standing up. But the true person is the person sitting down there. So yeah, that's it. That's how I spotlight things. I put them in sections. I categorize them that way. I identify them by their behaviors. I identify them by their job proficiency and how they're treated, so on and so forth, and how they interact with regards to their opponents or their allies. And Mr. Garros is expressing the usual suspect bullshit that people throw into games because they think they're clever. And Mr. standing right in the center of the cell represents the red herring. And Mr. sitting in the corner represents the I'm obviously aggressive because I'm obviously trying to fool you because I'm obviously the killer. Get a clue. So, no, I don't know yet though. But this is just wild speculation. So I'll continue this later on. I like doing these things because you get to pick apart and pull them apart and see what you get. So hopefully things turn out the way they do. The spotlight is not, the spotlight I create is not like a wicked spotlight. It's like an identifying spotlight to separate things. Kind of like what Holmes did with the diluting of stuff using his experiment, hydrogen peroxide, is to separate the natures of people into categories. That's all the spotlight is. It's like a God's eye light burning away things that are awful and putting them in their sections where they belong and separating the good from the bad. Oh, but that's it. I gotta call it a day. I got stuff I gotta do. We'll see how this one goes. If I'm wrong about this one, if I lose this one, I'm gonna actually be happy this time around, because then that means they put a little effort into this one than they did with regards to Black Peter and Rails on the Rails. Alright.